Hello friends, good afternoon. Am I audible and visible? Yes, somebody please ping me so that I can begin with today's session. Yes guys, am I audible and visible? Yes, Nivedita, good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon, Pragati, Prageet. Am I audible and visible? Somebody please ping me. Okay, thank you guys. So, hello friends, hi, this is Alok Oja. Welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. In today's session, we are going to discuss important education commissions. As you can see on the board, the title, Important Education Commissions, what was their contribution, and so on. Before I begin with the session, let me tell to the students who are new to the platform or the aspirants who are new to the platform that you can download the PDF from history_Alok Oja. It's my Telegram channel. From there, you can download the session. Okay, guys? So, without wasting any more time, let's begin with today's session and let's understand the stage-by-stage evolution of education system in India by the Britishers. Okay? It is quite easier to rule over the people who are not that educated or who are illiterate. Isn't that so? Right from the start itself, Britishers were not at all interested in educating the Indians. And as we had discussed, why these people are not interested in educating the Indians? Because it is quite easier for them to rule over the people, since these people are not questioning the authority. Correct? But specifically speaking, now I'll tell you one more thing, guys. Right from the start itself, Britishers, whatever development that they have done in India, it is not actually for the benefit of Indians. Rather it be the education system, rather it be the telegraph line, rather it be the railway system. It was just for the personal benefit of the Britishers. But later on, Indians got benefited out of this. Similarly was the education system. So initially they were not interested in educating Indians. But for the first time around 1780-81, at that time Governor General of Bengal was Warren Hastings. Correct? As we had discussed previously, Warren Hastings was the first Governor General of Bengal. He came up with a new madarsa which is called as Calcutta Madarsa. It is also referred as Madarsa Alia. I repeat, Madarsa Alia. It was established in 1780-81 by first Governor General of Bengal, Warren Hastings. Guys, if you remember, we had studied the Governor Generals in quite depth and detail. And Warren Hastings was the only Governor General to be impeached. It means that he was removed from the post of Governor General. Correct? So he established one madarsa which is referred as Calcutta Madarsa in 1780-81. The purpose for establishing Calcutta Madarsa was to study of Muslim law, Arabic and Persian languages. Apart from that, teaching of natural sciences, astronomy, geometry, arithmetic and so on. In the coming years, in 1791, Sanskrit College at Banaras was established, and this Sanskrit College at Banaras was established by Sir Jonathan Duncan for study of Hindu law and philosophy, along with astronomy, arithmetic, geometry and so on. Now, initially, we are understanding the stage-by-stage evolution or development of education in India. Now, initially, the civil services exam was held in London. The civil servants who were recruited, they were trained in London. So, the examination was held in London. They were trained in London. And they were meant to work in India. Now, can you imagine what would be the administrative efficiency and effectiveness of those civil servants who are trained in London and they are made to work in India? The administrative efficiency was not up to the mark. Why? Because these people are completely unaware about the grassroots realities of India, the history of India, the society of India, the political setup of India. So now, Lord Wellesley, he decided to train the newly recruited civil servants at the Fort William College in Calcutta. Initially, the newly recruited civil servants were trained at Hailbury College in London. Now the newly recruited civil servants would be trained at Fort William College to improve their administrative effectiveness and efficiency. So, initially around 1780-81, Warren Hastings established Calcutta Madarsa, also referred as Alia Madarsa. Later on, Sanskrit College was established by Sir Jonathan Duncan around 1791 at Banaras for study of Hindu law and philosophy. Around 1974, it is believed that the name of Sanskrit College has been changed. It is Purnanand Saraswati Sampurnanand Saraswati, Sanskrit College. So the name has been changed now. Later on, in 1800, Fort William College was being established at Calcutta. Why? To train the newly recruited civil servants. Now, with the passage of time, there came another important act which is referred as Charter Act of 1813. We had discussed in a very depth about all the clauses of Charter Act 1813. I'll repeat some of them. Correct? As per Charter Act 1813, monopoly of English East India Company in India got ended. Monopoly of English East India Company in India got ended, except tea and China. Second major clause, Christian missionaries were allowed to come in India and preach Christianity. And the third major clause, as per Charter Act 1813, English East India Company now decided to spend rupees 1 lakh every year for the purpose of education. So 1 lakh rupees would be spent every year for the purpose of education. Now the question arises, how to educate the Indians? Should we educate the Indians in their mother tongue, in the local language or a vernacular language, or should we educate Indians in English language? So there was a long-standing controversy over this. And this controversy is referred as Anglicist-Orientalist controversy or Orientalist-Anglicist controversy. As the name suggests, Anglicist, what did these people believe? Anglicists believed that a very simple statement they believed in: we want Indians by blood and color of their skin, but by their morals, manners and etiquettes, they should be complete Englishmen. So these people, Anglicists, they believed in English education. Apart from this, they also believed in one more thing, and that is downward filtration theory. What is downward filtration theory or trickle down theory? In simple words, as per downward filtration theory, it is not necessary to educate every Indian. We are not going to educate every Indian. We are just going to educate the elite section of the society, and these people will interact with the people at the grassroots level. Hence, the education will flow down automatically. And this theory was supported by Anglicists. And this is referred as downward filtration theory. Correct? On the other hand, as the name suggests, Orientalist. Orientalists believe that English is a new language to the people of India, and we cannot directly impose English language on Indians. So in the initial part of their education, we will provide them education in their mother tongue or local language or vernacular language. And the higher education would be in English language. So in very simple words, Orientalists supported vernacular language as the basis for education. Anglicists supported English language as the basis for education. Now, Orientalist view was being put by James and Henry Prinsep, whereas Anglicist viewpoint was being put by C.B. Saunders, Bushby, Colvin, and so on. And as per Macaulay's Minute of 1835, they supported Anglicist point of view. They supported English education. Okay? So, Britishers planned to educate only a small section of the Indian society. Okay? Hope the points are clear till here, and then I'll move forward. Good afternoon, Radhe. Good afternoon, Divya. I'll repeat the points again within next 10 seconds. Please pay attention. Initially, Britishers were not at all interested in educating the Indians, but with the passage of time to improve the administrative convenience and ease, they believe that Indians should be educated now. For the first time around 1780-81, Calcutta Madrasa, also referred as Alia Madrasa, was started by the first Governor General of Bengal, referred as Lord Warren Hastings. In the coming years, around 1791, Sanskrit College was established by Jonathan Duncan at Banaras for study of Hindu law and philosophy. Later on, Lord Wellesley established Fort William College, and the objective or the purpose was to train the newly recruited civil servants at Fort William College. Initially, they were trained at Hailbury College in London. As per Charter Act 1813, English East India Company now decided to invest rupees 1 lakh every year for the purpose of education in India. Now comes up the controversy, how should we educate the Indians? So, Anglicist Orientalist controversy. Anglicists believe that we should educate only upper section of the society, elite section of the society, and Anglicists supported English education. On the other hand, Orientalists believe that English is a new language to the people of India. So at the initial stages, we should provide them education in their mother tongue or local language or vernacular language. So Anglicist viewpoint was being put by W. Saunders, Bushby, and so on, Colvin, and James and Henry Prinsep supported Orientalist, or they supported Orientalist viewpoint. Got it? Now comes the first education commission in India in the form of Wood's Dispatch. Points are clear till here, guys. Any query, any doubt, any question, please feel free to ask. Now, let's understand clause by clause about Wood's Dispatch of 1854. Wood's Dispatch 1854 came up during the time of Lord Dalhousie. He was the Governor General at that time. And we had discussed in the Governor Generals, Dalhousie's, his original name was James Andrew Ramsay. He is the youngest Governor General. He became Governor General at the age of 36. And during his time, Wood's Dispatch came. Wood's Dispatch was being drafted by Sir Charles Wood. And what are the major recommendations that Wood's Dispatch gave? Let's understand in a clause by clause manner, step by step manner. First thing, Wood's Dispatch completely rejected the downward filtration theory or trickle down theory. What is downward filtration theory? As we had studied previously, that Anglicists said that it is not necessary to educate every Indian. We will only educate the elite section of the society, and automatically the people of the upper section of the society will interact with the people at grassroots level and the education will flow down. This is trickle down theory or downward filtration theory. This was completely rejected by Wood's Dispatch, and they believe that education should be given to everyone. Now, these people majorly focused on three major aspects. First, women's education, female education. Now, why did they focus on female education? Indian society at that time was plagued by different social evils. Like on 4th December 1829, Sati system was banned by Lord William Bentinck due to efforts of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. But still, there were many social evils lingering in the Indian society, like child marriage, female infanticide, life of the widows. The life of the widows was quite miserable. So in that case, the basic thing that we need to understand here is, if a woman is educated, she will free her from all sorts of fetters. And it is necessary to educate the women. So here, Wood's Dispatch focused on female education. Secondly, providing skills, vocational education. And third important aspect, teachers training. Because teachers also need to taught that how to teach properly. So they focused on three aspects: teachers training, vocational training, and the third important aspect, that is female education. Now they went in a step-by-step manner. How? There would be one education department in every provinces. Like there were various provinces at that time: Assam, Burma, Central provinces, Calcutta, Bombay, Madras. Correct. In the coming years, there would be more provinces like Punjab and so on. So there should be one education department in every province. Correct? In every district, there would be a government school. Okay? Like I'll give you an example. Suppose this is one province. Okay? Now in this province, there are 10 districts. So how many government schools would be there? There would be 10 government schools here. Now on annual basis, all the government schools of that province will report to the education department of the province. So it was a wonderful step-by-step evolution of education here. Correct? Now they supported English education. It is not like that Woods Dispatch did not support English education. They supported English education, but they believed that English education should be introduced gradually, not all of a sudden. Getting the points clear? On the basis of the recommendations of Woods Dispatch, 3 major universities were established in India: Bombay, Calcutta and Madras University. Hence, Woods Dispatch is also referred as Magna Carta of English education in India, because they laid down the fundamental roots for English education in India. Got the points? I'll repeat it again within short. Pay attention properly. Woods Dispatch, it was drafted by Sir Charles Wood. Sir Charles Wood, he came up during the time of Lord Dalhousie, who is considered as the youngest Governor General. He became the Governor General at the age of 36. Woods Dispatch majorly focused on female education, vocational training and teachers training. Apart from this, there should be one education department in every province. There should be at least one government school in every district that will be reporting to the education department in that province. And on the basis of the recommendations of Woods Dispatch, 3 major universities were established in India: Calcutta University, Bombay University and Madras University. Correct? Apart from this, if you have a look, it is also referred as Magna Carta of English education in India. And one of the most important aspect, Woods Dispatch completely rejected the downward filtration theory. Clear, guys? Also the points are clear. Moving ahead. Radhe, the name of the Sanskrit college is Sampurnanand Saraswati College. Sampurnanand Sanskrit College, Banaras. It was changed in 1974. Hope so, Radhe, the point is clear. I'll repeat, Sampurnanand Sanskrit College, and the name was changed in 1974. Hope so the points are clear. Okay. It's not Purnanand Saraswati, it's Sampurnanand Sanskrit College. Let's move on with Hunter Commission. Now Hunter Commission, the chairman of the commission, the chairman of the commission was William Wilson Hunter. And William Wilson Hunter, he was a Scottish statistician and he has also worked for civil services. That is, he has also worked for the Britishers in India. And he was appointed by Lord Ripon, who was the viceroy at that time. Lord Ripon, father of, yes, local self-government in India. So, William Wilson Hunter was the chairman of Hunter Commission. He has written different books like Imperial Gazetteer of India, Annals of Rural Bengal. So many books has been written by Hunter Commission. Now, what was the purpose of Hunter Commission coming to India? The basic and the major purpose of Hunter Commission coming to India was to analyze that whatever recommendation that Woods Dispatch has given, are they actually implemented at the grassroots level or not? This was the major objective of Hunter Commission to come to India. Okay? So now, Hunter Commission, after observing everything, they gave few recommendations, and these recommendations are very important. Now, responsibility of primary education should be given to local boards and municipalities, and secondary education should be given to private enterprises. Why? Let's understand. Now, at the grassroots level, I'll give you an example so that it becomes quite easier for you to understand things, because it becomes easier to understand things with the help of an example. Suppose in a village, there's a government school, there's a primary school. Now, how many students are enrolled in the school? Who knows much better about it? The people in the local area, correct? Or the sarpanch, or the panchayat sachiv, or the panchayat secretary. Isn't that so? So at the grassroots level, villages, municipalities, local bodies play a very crucial role in sensitizing the masses about the primary education. So they gave a recommendation here that the primary education should be given to local bodies, and the secondary education should be given to private enterprises. Now, how private enterprises came into picture, let's understand. As per Hunter Commission, private enterprises would be given government aid to establish schools, and this aid would be provided only under one condition: if there is a quality education that is provided to the students. Apart from that, if there are more number of enrollments in the student, there are more number of enrollment of the students, then there would be a government aid that would be provided to the private schools. So here they recommended specifically what? Secondary education should be given to the private enterprises. Primary education should be given to the local government bodies. Okay? So here, as I've mentioned, government aid, it would be on the basis of payment by result system. If there is more number of enrollment of the student, if good quality education is provided, these private enterprises would be supported by the government. Correct? On the basis of the recommendations of Hunter Commission, two major universities were established in India: Punjab and Allahabad University. Correct? I'll repeat the points again in short. Hunter Commission came up during the time of the Viceroy Lord Ripon, who is also referred as father of local government bodies or father of local self-government. Now, William Wilson Hunter has written different books like Imperial Gazetteer of India, Annals of Rural Bengal, and so on. He gave 2 to 3 major recommendations. First recommendation was primary education should be given to local bodies, municipalities, and the secondary education should be given to private enterprises. The private enterprises would be given government aid only on what condition? Payment by result system. Simple words: if a quality education is provided, if there is more number of enrollment of the student, you would be supported by the government. So these are the major recommendations of Hunter Commission. On the basis of the recommendations of Hunter Commission, two major universities were established in India: Punjab and Allahabad University. Clear? Bombay, Calcutta and Madras University were established on the recommendations particularly of Woods Dispatch. Points are clear, guys? Okay. Yes, Hari, you can watch the video from the perspective of SSC CGL, but this video is majorly from the perspective of UPSC. But at least it will upload your knowledge, so you can watch the video. Like Rayleigh Commission, let's understand about Rayleigh Commission. Rayleigh Commission was appointed by Lord Curzon, and everyone knows this person, Lord Curzon. He is known for one of his policies, that is divide and rule policy. I'll give you one of the finest example. Lord Curzon, he was a Viceroy of Bengal. Rather than saying Viceroy of Bengal, he was a Viceroy of India. And he divided Bengal on what pretext? He divided Bengal on the pretext that Bengal has become too big to be administered by a single Viceroy. Okay. But what was the hidden agenda of the Britishers? They actually wanted to hurt the communal fabric of India. Why? West Bengal was a Hindu majority province and East Bengal was a Muslim majority province, and they wanted to divide the Bengal on communal lines and disturb the Hindu-Muslim unity. Finally, in 1905, Lord Curzon, he announced the partition of Bengal. And in opposition to the announcement of partition of Bengal, Indian National Congress in 1905, they started what? Swadeshi movement at Banaras session of Indian National Congress. Correct? So this person, Lord Curzon, he is known for his policy of divide and rule. And right from the start itself, I have told you one thing, guys. Britishers have always followed two major policies in India. One among them is divide and rule, and the second one is carrot and stick policy. We'll see about these policies in the future sessions. So, Rayleigh Commission came up during the time of Lord Curzon. This commission was heavily criticized. It was heavily criticized. Why it was criticized? There's a reason behind this. This commission completely ignored, it completely neglected the pre-primary, the primary, the secondary and the higher secondary education, and it completely focused on higher education or university education. Now, why did Rayleigh Commission focus majorly on higher education? They majorly focused on higher education and particularly on Calcutta University because they wanted specifically the working people from that region. I'll give you a simple example. Calcutta University in the coming years was being criticized by Indian nationalists as Gulam Khana, as factory of producing slaves. Why? Because the students get educated from Calcutta University. After getting education from Calcutta University, rather than working for the people of India, rather than working as a nationalist and sensitizing the masses about the British rule, these people used to work for the Britishers. Hence, the Indian nationalists had criticized Calcutta University as Gulam Khana or factory of producing slaves. And these people, Britishers, wanted the students from Calcutta University to work for them. Hence, it is believed that these people, Rayleigh Commission, he focused majorly on university education. Now tell me one more thing. There's one simple question I'll ask you. A very simple question. You guys are preparing for civil services. Correct. If you knew that right from your childhood that you have to prepare for civil services, you could have read your NCRTs and Tamil Nadu State Board books properly. Isn't that so? Now at this age of 20, 21, 22, 24, you are reading the NCRTs and Tamil Nadu board books. Correct? So what do I mean to say here? The basic or the foundation education should be very strong. If the foundation of the education is strong, automatically the higher education will be strong. Britishers should have focused here on the pre-primary education, primary education, secondary education, because if your foundation pillar is strong, automatically the higher education would be strong. But these people, they completely neglected here the primary and the secondary education and focused on higher education. Finally, Rayleigh Commission came up with an act which is called as Indian Universities Act 1904. And this act was heavily criticized by the Indian nationalists, particularly a moderate leader whose name was Gopal Krishna Gokhale ji. Gopal Krishna Gokhale ji criticized Indian University Act 1904 as a retrograde measure. Now, what is a retrograde measure? Actually, we are not moving ahead. We are moving backwards. That is the meaning of the word retrograde. So here, rather than following the policy of development, moving in ahead direction, Britishers are moving backward. And this is a decision which is taken this is a decision which is not taken wisely. So hence, these are the recommendations of Rayleigh Commission. Hope so the points are clear, guys. So, particularly speaking, I'll repeat again, Rayleigh Commission. Rayleigh Commission, it came up during the time of Lord Curzon, and it is believed that particularly the commission initially, one more important fact, commission initially had one Indian member, Syed Hussain Belgrami. Later on, the judge of Calcutta High Court also became one of the members. His name was Gurdas Banerjee. They completely ignored, they completely neglected the pre-primary, primary and the secondary education, and they completely focused on higher education. They came up with Indian University Act 1904, which was heavily criticized by our Indian nationalists, particularly the moderate leaders Gopal Krishna Gokhale, who said that it is a retrograde measure. Clear, guys? Hope so the points are clear. See, Pawan, you have a question. Why these people neglected the primary and the secondary education? As I've told you, they wanted actually the people who will work for them. And they were in dire need of the people working for them. And since these people were studying in university level, correct? So their major purpose was to increase the students' enrollment in the primary and secondary education. And their second major purpose was to take the students from the universities who will work for the Britishers. Hence, they neglected the primary and secondary education and they focused more on university education. Got it, Pawan? Now, let's come up with Sadler Commission. Session won't be much longer. It will take more 10 to 15 minutes and that's it. If somebody asks you what was the purpose of Sadler Commission, the basic objective of Sadler Commission was to review the working of Calcutta University. Basic objective. Okay. Now, in very simple words, what did Sadler Commission suggest? Sadler Commission, it came up during the time of Lord Chelmsford. Lord Chelmsford was the viceroy at that time. You might have heard about Montego-Chelmsford reforms, also referred as Government of India Act 1919, correct? So Montego was Secretary of State for India at that time and Chelmsford was Viceroy of India, correct? So this is the Lord Chelmsford, Viceroy at that time. So Sadler Commission came up during the time of the Viceroy, Lord Chelmsford. So what were the basic recommendations of Sadler Commission? Education should be made a provincial subject. Now, why education should be made a provincial subject and what is a provincial subject? Like you might have heard about different list, union list, state list and concurrent list. In union list, the center makes the law. In state list, the states make the law, and in concurrent list, both of them make the law. But in that case, if both of them make the law, central law will prevail. Similarly, it was recommended that the education should be made provincial subject because the local bodies, the municipalities are quite well aware about the grassroots realities. They are well aware about the development of education in the provinces. Hence, it should be made a provincial subject. They recommended that there should be a residential university that needs to be established at Dhaka. So, a residential university was established at Dhaka on the recommendations of Sadler Commission. In very simple language, in simple words, if somebody asks you what was the major purpose of Sadler Commission coming to India, its major purpose was to review the working of Calcutta University. Clear? Let's speak about Hartog Committee. You might have heard about Simon Commission, correct? Simon Commission, like there was an act, that is Government of India Act 1919, also referred as Montego-Chelmsford Reform, and there was a clause in that act. And what was the clause? That after 10 years, we will be appointing the commission which is going to review the entire structure of the administration at that time. Okay, like as per Government of India Act 1919 or Montego-Chelmsford Reforms 1919, diarchy was introduced in the provinces. So there were many different clauses of that act. So to review entire thing, Simon Commission was to come after 10 years. Simon Commission came around 1927-28. Simon Commission was heavily criticized throughout India, wherever it went. Bombay, Pune, Vijayawada, Lucknow, Punjab. The slogans were being raised, Simon, go back. And black flags were being raised. Why everyone criticized Simon Commission? Because they have come in India to suggest future reforms in India. and there is no single Indian member in the commission. It was an all-white commission. All the 7 members were Englishmen. And to review the structure of education system in India, or to review the development of education system in India, Simon Commission appointed a committee referred as Philip Hartog Committee, also referred as Hartog Committee. Philip Hartog, he was the Vice Chancellor of Dhaka University, which was being established on the recommendations of Sadler Commission. We have seen while back. Now, what recommendations did Hartog Committee give? Let's understand. They focused on fundamentals of the education. They majorly focused on pre-primary, primary and secondary education because they knew that, as we had discussed earlier, if the fundamental pillars are strong, the higher education would automatically be strong. So Hartog Committee, they focused on primary and secondary education, and they gave a recommendation that rather than going for multiplication of schools, we should go for consolidation of schools. Correct? Why consolidation of schools? Because there is no point in enrolling more number of students if it cannot provide quality education. So the key concept should be quality education. So they said there should be consolidation of school rather than multiplication of schools. Apart from this, we had seen Wood's Dispatch. In Wood's Dispatch, they focused on teachers training. They focused on female education. In Hunter Commission, they focused on physical and moral education. I forgot to tell you in Hunter Commission also focused on physical and moral education. Now, Hartog Committee, they also focused on education of minorities and backward classes. I'll give you one of the simple example, guys. We'll study about this in the Renaissance movement. Now, why did Pandit Ishwar Chandra Vidyasakar focus on education system? Why did Jyotiba Phule ji focused on education system? Why did Narayan Guru focused on education system? Because education is co-linked to overall upliftment. Because when there is educational upliftment, there is economic upliftment. When there is economic upliftment, there is social upliftment. And when there is a social upliftment, there is a political upliftment. So automatically, educational upliftment is co-linked to overall upliftment. Hence, education is necessary. Like I'll give you one of the simple example. There is a movement in South India, we'll study in the Renaissance, that is Ezhava movement. Now, Ezhava, it's a community in Kerala, particularly, and Ezhavas are the caste of toddy tappers. They were considered as untouchables. And they had one of the leaders whose name was Narayan Guru. He started Ezhava movement or Sri Narayan Dharma Paripalan Yogam. Now, particularly speaking, the major focus of Narayan Guru was educating the Ezhava community. Because once the backward communities or the minorities are educated, automatically they would be uplifted. So Hartog Committee, apart from female education, they also focused on education of the backward and the minorities. Got it? So this is majorly about the recommendations of Hartog Committee. Okay? So Hartog Committee, so it came under Philip Hartog, and it came during the time of whom? Simon Commission. The major recommendation, they focused on primary and secondary education. And secondly, they said that rather than going for multiplication of schools, we should go for consolidation of schools. Correct? Okay. And finally, they focused on education of backward and minorities. Now, let's speak about Wardha scheme of education. (1937). Now, let me give you a brief introduction about Mahatma Gandhi. I have already given you about a brief introduction of Mahatma Gandhi when I taught you Champaran Satyagraha. Mahatma Gandhi's original name was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. He was born on 2nd October 1869 at a place called as Porbandar in Gujarat. At a very young age, he was married and he went to London to pursue his degree in law. After pursuing his degree in law, he had two major options. Either to register himself at the Bar Council and practice as a lawyer, and second condition was to work as a legal advisor for the company of Dada Abdullah or Sheikh Abdullah. He chose the second one. It is believed that he was given the first class railway compartment ticket, and as soon as he reached a station called as Pietermaritzburg, he was thrown out of the first class railway compartment. Then he came to know that there were 2 to 3 kind of Asians or Indians living in South Africa. Indentured laborers, ex-indentured laborers. Who are they? These are the laborers who are brought to South Africa on contract basis to work on the plantations field. And once their contract is over, they'll go back. They were being heavily exploited by the European planters. Now, M.K. Gandhi coined the term Satyagraha for the first time in South Africa. And he decided to fight for the cause of the Indians living in South Africa. He migrated from Transvaal to Natal, and his all these events became quite famous in South Africa. 1915 he came to India, and he entered into mainstream Indian politics for the first time in Champaran Satyagraha, when a local peasant named as Rajkumar Shukla invited him to conduct a Satyagraha at Champaran against the Teen Kathia system. Then he began with 3 major movements in India. He participated in all the major movements after 1917. But now it is believed that 3 major movements dedicated to Mahatma Gandhi in India are non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, and Quit India movement. Satya and Ahimsa were the basic pillars of all the movements associated with M.K. Gandhi. Around 1930, when Mahatma Gandhi, it is believed that he started civil disobedience movement. Before this, he gave 11-point ultimatum to the Britishers. And he said that if Britishers are not going to pay attention to these 11 demands, I'll start the salt satyagraha. On 12th of March 1930, Mahatma Gandhi started his Dandi Yatra, and he left Sabarmati Ashram along with 78 to 80 satyagrahis. And he took a pledge, he took a vow that until and unless I gain independence for India, until and unless I gain freedom for India, I won't be coming back to Sabarmati Ashram. And he left Sabarmati Ashram. On the first day of Dandi Yatra, he covered approximately around 20 to 21 kilometers, and he reached a village called as Aslali. Here he addressed a crowd of 4,000. And finally, on 6th of April, he reached Dandi. As soon as he reached Dandi, he picked up salt and said, "With this I shake the foundations of British Empire in India." And he asked the people of India to break the salt law wherever possible. During the time of civil disobedience movement, M.K. Gandhi's efforts were enormous, but he could not gain independence for India. And finally, he settled at a different ashram, which is located near Nagpur, Wardha ashram. And from here, he started one system of education, which is called as Wardha scheme of education, also referred as Nai Talim. Nai means new, Talim means education, new system of education. And the entire syllabus for the Nai Talim was being designed by Zakir Hussain, Dr. Zakir Hussain. So what were the major recommendations of Wardha scheme of education? Free and compulsory education up to 7 years of age. Till 8th standard, mother tongue or vernacular language should be the medium of instruction. English as a language only as a part of higher education. No place for English education in the curriculum till 8th standard. English only after 8th standard as a part of higher education. No place for religious instruction, which simply exemplifies one thing: education was completely secular. Apart from this, students should also be taught certain skills. So he also focused on handicrafts. And apart from handicrafts, he focused on one more thing: Swavalamban. Swavalamban means right from the birth itself, students should be taught to do their work on their own. So this scheme, Nai Talim or Wardha scheme of education, is cooperative and child-centric. because it majorly focuses on overall development of children. Hence, this is referred as Wardha scheme of education or Nai Talim. Correct? So, this is majorly about Mahatma Gandhi, and then comes the last one. And what is that, guys? The last one is Sargent Education Report. Sargent Education Report, it came in 1944. I repeat, it came in 1944. Sargent Education Report said that their aim or objective was universal literacy in India in coming 40 years. Apart from this, as we had discussed earlier, Wood's dispatch focused on female education. Physical and moral education was being focused by Hunter Commission. Hartog Committee focused on education of backward and minorities. For the first time in 1944, Sargent Education Report also focused on education of physically and mentally handicapped, also referred as Divyang, correct, in the present context. So they focused on the education of physically and mentally handicapped. So this is about the major development of education in India. This is majorly about the different education commissions. Hope you understood things, guys. Any question, any query, any doubt, please feel free to ask. Okay. So, UPSC IS English batch, 7th of March at sharp at 6 p.m. Okay, Sampurna batch. And there are beautiful features of this batch. Prelims and the Mains Residential Program is one of the key features. Student who qualifies prelim would be refunded his fees. Another important facility of the program. Apart from this, rupees 11,000 reward to monthly top performers and interview guidance program. You can use the code ALOK Live, which is flashing on the screen, to enroll for this batch. So guys, hope you understood the Education Commission. Yes, tomorrow onwards we'll start with development of press in India. Again, a session very important, tomorrow session. That session will also be not that lengthier. It would be 35 to 40 minute session, but a very important one. Hope so the points are clear, guys. Thanks a lot, Pawan. Thanks a lot. So guys, with this, I stop my words here. Students or the aspirants who are new to the platform, the PDF would be uploaded by evening 7 o'clock on my Telegram channel, history_Alok Ojha. So you can download the PDF from that Telegram channel. I'll stop my words for the day, guys. Thank you and have a wonderful